Energy. Where does energy come from? Do you need more energy? What happens when you run out of energy? And is it possible that you can put energy into your body even if you haven't got any? And they're all really great questions. Ultimately, if you are the scientist and you're going to be logical about everything, all energy comes from the sun. Everything that we put into our body to eat for energy, everything that we do to create energy, everything comes from the sun. So it's pretty important to get some sunshine. There's a great start if you want to have a stack of energy. The next part is, do we eat our energy or do we create it inside? And then what we eat just kind of adds value to it. And there's a lot of people who they technically don't have healthy eating plans, they don't do regular exercise, they eat pretty crappy food, they take drugs and smoke, and they can go for days and days dancing at nightclubs and they seem to have a stack of energy. There's other people who eat healthy food and they regularly exercise and they get heaps of sleep and I'm tired all the time, no energy. So where does it come from? Is it something that we can produce ourselves? And I think the really important question is, what do you do if you really need some energy? So you've got something happening in your life that requires you to keep going, even if most people would stop. So you might be going on a holiday and you've got 10 days where you've just got to do stuff every single day and you're going out every night and you might be dancing in a nightclub every night. And then you've got to get up early the next morning, a bit like maybe a Kontiki tour around Europe where it's just go, 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 go. How do you produce enough energy for that? How do you make sure that you can go every single day? You might be moving house and you've got 5, 10, many more days to be packing and lifting and staying up late and getting up early. How do you make sure that you've got a stack of energy for that? You might have children or you've just had a child and it's your first one and it's like, oh my God, life is so different. What do? I've got to stay awake now. You can't sleep when your baby needs you. What do you do when you have to have a stack of energy? And is it psychological and is it physiological? Is it a combination of the two? And is it as simple as having a caffeine drink, and plenty of people do that? Maybe it's a sugar fix, and plenty of people do that. Maybe it's some fresh fruit and vegetables, and plenty of people do that. Maybe it's some exercise. And if you just have a look at the pure physiology of energy, your body will produce massive amounts of energy when it needs it. Amazing machine, the human body. So if I have I might just be plodding along, living my life, and something happens that my adrenal system, my adrenaline, epinephrine, cortisol, the stress drugs, the ones that so you might be in a car accident, you might have to lift something heavy off somebody, something's caused you to be under stress. It's amazing how quickly the body can go from tired and lethargic, I can't be bothered, to instant energy, where you literally could lift something really heavy, or you could sprint away from a stress, or you could really get, your brain just turns on, you're on fire, even though you might not have slept very much, you might not have eaten very much, you might not have been doing great things for your body. So if the body's capable of doing that under stress, what if we put ourselves under stress to create energy if we need it? So again, I'll use some examples. If you have to do something for long periods of time that require energy for your brain and or your body, is it possible to force your body to be able to perform at top level by creating stress so that you can have a stack of energy? And of course, that's where exercise comes in. So is it possible, and most people will share, I'm so tired I can't exercise, but the reverse is, if I'm really, really tired but I've got to have a stack of energy, what do I need to do to create energy? And of course, energy creates more energy, momentum creates more momentum. So the more you move, the more you are capable of moving, to a point, of course. So how about if you're really tired, rather than, oh, I've got no energy, I'm really tired, and talking about it? And that's probably a great place to start. If you tell your brain that you're tired, is it possible that you will definitely be tired? What hope have you got if you're telling yourself, I'm tired, I've had no sleep, I'm really tired? There's a great question. If you didn't know how much sleep you had, how tired would you be? Another interesting thing to take note of is you might be really tired when you've got to get up to go to work or go and do something that you're not really excited about. But if you're waking up to go on a holiday, or you're waking up for a special event and you've got to get up at 2 or 3 or 4 in the morning, all of a sudden you've got a stack of energy to get up because you've got some reason to have energy for. You've got a purpose to be energetic. And there's a really great thing to consider. If the body can produce energy for a great event, if the body can produce energy because you're under stress, what if you reverse that, and when you need to have energy, you create a really super experience that you're excited to get up for, which will create a stack of energy, and or you put your body under stress physically so that now you've got, and I'll ask the question, is it possible to do a really hard exercise session and still, I've got to go sleeping, I'm so tired and lethargic? It's exactly the opposite, of course. When you create a whole heap of energy, you feel fantastic. Now, you might, after you've exercised really hard, you might go, I'm really tired, but I'm going to ask that question again. If you tell yourself, I'm really tired, how are you going to feel? What about how much sleep do we need? Is it possible, again, that if you have a restricted amount of sleep, but you tell yourself that you're tired, it's going to be really difficult to keep going. But if you have a restricted amount of sleep and you've got something exciting to do, why is it that we can just keep going? And of course, I think that if you get healthy and really fit and strong, and the physiology will back me up on that your body will do whatever you need it to. If you look after your body will look after you. So when you feel tired, when you feel, I can't be bothered, I've got no energy, your body doesn't need any energy when it's not doing anything. Your body only needs energy when you get going. So if you've got an exciting event or you force yourself to get going, then your body will produce energy. Now, of course, you need to have the energy substances in your body. But again, you could have had no sleep, not eaten very good food, and not be feeling very good at all, and all of a sudden your body can produce great amount of energy. So let's start with, what words are you using? Are you telling yourself that you're tired? Are you telling yourself that you're lacking energy? Are you telling yourself, I need more energy? Or is it a positive word change? So rather than saying, I'm so tired, how about, how can I get a stack of energy? How can I get some momentum going? How can I create energy so I can get going? And if you ask your brain to do something for you, is it possible that it might just do it? Because you asked nicely, please, can you give me a stack of energy? That would be really good. I've got to go and dance at a nightclub for the next 5 nights. Woohoo! So give your body a reason to have energy, then create energy, which creates more energy. So one of the things that are really important for me, because there are times in my life where I really have to go. I've got no option. I've got to go long hours, and the hours are long, by the way. They've only got 60 minutes. Every hour's only got 60 minutes. But sometimes a day can be very early in the morning till very late at night, or very early in the morning till very early in the next morning, or very late in the next morning. And there's no option to be tired. There's no option to have no energy. So one of the really important things for me, of course, is exercise, but not just exercise. It's hard, intense activity. So if I'm really tired, the first thing that I do is go sprint. So I get on the cross trainer, I box the bag, run up some hills, soft sand running, anything to get really puffed. And it's interesting because when you force your body into that state of energy, where I've got to create energy, which is the 100% energy system, remember that it's really important. It's not about activity. It's not about exercise. It's about forcing your body to think that it's under stress, which means it's got to produce epinephrine, adrenaline, cortisol, the catecholamine endocrine part of, the part of the endocrine system called the catecholamines, which is the get up and go drugs. So if you force your body to get up and go at 100% effort, so if you get puffed, lift heavy, or a combination of, then your body will have to produce the energy to do that. So it's think positive, yes, but if you force your body physically, it's amazing where the energy can come from. So if I'm really tired, I will go sprint. That's the first thing I do. Of course, if you go sprint and you do that 3 or 4 or 5 times, and if it's hot or cold, probably doesn't matter, but if it's hot weather, you'll then get hot. So then one of the things I do is have a really cold shower. And there's something really interesting about a very cold shower. Very difficult to be tired when you have a very cold shower. So think positive, get puffed, put your body under stress. And that's the interesting thing again about cold. A lot of people are using cold water to produce stress so that your body produces epinephrine and adrenaline, and it forces you to have an increase in metabolism. And that's one of the things, when you talk about base metabolic rate, that's when you're in a warm room and your body doesn't require any energy because you're not doing anything. So as soon as you get energetic and as soon as you get cold, obviously your metabolism speeds up. Things change inside your body. There's a chemical response to cold and there's a chemical response to exercise. The interesting thing about food, people talk about food and energy. There's not too many people though that eat a lot of food and then feel really energetic. Usually it's eat a lot of food and then want to have a snooze. Eat a lot of food and then feel bloated and fat and can't be bothered, I've got to lie down. So the food thing's interesting, and what kind of food do you need? And when you have a look at the pure physiology again of those energy systems, the phosphate system, the lactate system and the aerobic system, the phosphate 100% effort system, your body needs carbohydrate for that. You need stored phosphates in the muscle, you need glycogen in the muscle, and then if you run out of glycogen in the muscle, you pull it down from the liver, and your brain runs on glucose, all carbohydrate, glycogen, sugar, lactose, fructose, whatever you want to call it. Your body requires carbohydrate for those two energy systems. And there's a little bit of argument about that, but really interesting to try and become very energetic when you don't have energy fuel in your body. So is it, do you eat carbohydrate? Do you not eat carbohydrate? Great question. How about if you don't do very much, you don't need very much energy, which means you don't need very much food, which means you don't need very much energy food, which is carbohydrate. If you don't sprint very often, or if you don't lift heavy, which is the nutrition or the food for hard activity, carbohydrate is the movement macronutrients, what I'm trying to say. So if you want to have a look at, well, protein rebuilds, alcohol is a toxin, you get rid of it, there's no place to store it. Fat has an unlimited storage capacity, but carbohydrate, we only have half a kilo of storage capacity, and we need it for high intense activity, we need it to lift heavy, we need it for energy. So if you're lacking in energy, maybe have a look at, am I getting enough of the movement macronutrient, which is carbohydrate? Now it comes in all different forms, of course, and there's sugar as in lollies, there's sugar as in the white stuff that people put in their coffee, but carbohydrate also comes from fruit, it comes from vegetables, and most foods have some form of carbohydrate in it. So there's this thing about I can't eat carbs because they're going to make me fat, or I can't eat carbohydrate because I feel bloated, or all the different reasons why people talk about carbohydrate. There's different ways to get it. The interesting thing though is your body doesn't know whether you ate an apple or some lollies or you had an energy drink that had sugar in it. The body just needs carbohydrate for energy to move, because it's the movement macronutrient. The other one that's interesting is coffee and energy drinks. A lot of people live on both of those for energy, and a lot of people say that first thing in the morning, I can't get started until I have my coffee. Well, is it possible that that's why you can't get started, because you told yourself that you have to have a coffee? What about if you got out of bed and sprinted first thing in the morning, got your heart rate up really high, and then had a cold shower? Is it possible that you could be awake for a start? So this thing that we call energy, there's a great question, what do you need energy for, and will your body give you what you need it for? So the reverse of that, if you don't do anything, is it possible that your body won't give you any energy to do nothing? Why would it? So if you don't have a purpose to get up and do things, if you're not excited about life, if you don't have a reason to go and do something exciting and need energy to do that, then your body won't provide you with the energy. Your car only burns petrol when you force it to, when you turn the ignition on and you go. So your body will only require energy when you get it going. So that's the interesting thing. I'll exercise when I've got more energy. Is it possible it's exactly the opposite? When I exercise, I have more energy because my body's on fire. So if you want to have a stack of energy, get puffed, lift heavy, get fit and strong, look after your body, because if you look after your body, it will look after you. If you need a stack of energy, force your body to give you energy. Force your body to make you feel energetic, and it will. Isn't that awesome? Woohoo!